Right, that should be done, relatively speaking. Since I'm 16 seconds in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, brothers and sisters, to my second live. This live is speaking about the deportations of the Uygher Muslims, how they are basically being persecuted by the Chinese government, who is pursuing them around the world, specifically involving the Uygher Muslims inside of Morocco and Saudi Arabia. A cleric, no less, who with a Turkish residency, who is visiting Saudi Arabia, is in the procedure of being deported to the Chinese government. And it just to have a general chat with my subscribers, myself, and generally for us to ascertain, is this what we want to be doing? Idris Hasan, who's 34, who lives in Turkey with his wife and 3 children, is due to be deported from the Moroccan government. They seized him whilst he was visiting Morocco. I mean, is this what Islam is about now? Is this what our religion is about? That we're deporting our brothers and sisters to non-Muslim countries, where we're basically sending them away. We are expelling our brothers and sisters because they don't sit with one of our tribes. They're not Moroccan, they're not Saudi Arabian, so you're deporting them. That's the behavior we engage in. I mean, it baffles me. It really does, and it's comprehensively disgusting for Muslims in general to consider deporting your brothers. I mean, if they've committed Islamic crimes, judge them amongst Muslims. You don't deport them to atheists. Is this what we've become? That we are now deporting clerics from Saudi Arabia to China. We're now deporting married men with children to China when they both live in Turkey. Both these men live in Turkey, and we're now because one of them's visiting Saudi Arabia, where the holy cities. This is why I don't always necessarily agree with a great deal that comes out of the political sphere of the Muslim world. And we need to say more, and we need to speak more, and we need to be willing to stand up more. And this is why social media is such an important platform, that we express our voice and much of who we are. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Welcome to my live. And I'm tired, really, really tired of people not saying things, not speaking, not being willing to actually speak up about these problems. And Idris Hasan, who's 34, is on the verge of being deported from Morocco, literally sent from Morocco. And I can't grasp why Muslims would do this. If they've committed a crime, alhamdulillah, judge them in Muslim courts. I don't know the reasons for his deportation, other than it's been requested by China. And the anti-terrorist laws in China are so loosely defined. I could be, if I was a Chinese citizen, theoretically, from what I've said alone, I could be deported to China. Just for what I've said, just for the political words that I've mentioned, of standing against ethnic cleansing, about standing against the moral bankruptcy of China. It doesn't matter if it has economical power, Erwin. Economical power doesn't mean for squit nor diddly. Yeah, we are supposed to be an ummah of morality. We are supposed to be a religious people of morality. Yeah, no, absolutely. Morocco and Saudi Arabia need to answer for this. And I don't care how many pro-Saudi Arabians are going to go absolutely crazy in my comment section when this live goes up, when these comments have gone up, when my live has been perpetually held up in line, because there are going to be people who are going to kick off. There are very, very nationalistic Arabs who tend to follow what I say and my videos, and I'm going to offend some people. But in reality, if we've got Muslims who are being deported from Muslim majority countries to atheist nations who have reputations that are vile, inhumane reputations, why is people surprised that criticism is going to come from people like historians like myself? Stuff for a lot. I mean, I don't quite grasp how you can deport a cleric with Turkish residence on humanitarian reasons, who would have been residing in Turkey, is probably visiting Saudi Arabia for religious reasons, and then they're deporting him. They're sending him out the door. And that's just such a terrifying position to be in. That, you speaking out against a foreign, a third country, just because you hold an ethnic tribal group is disgusting. Wa alaikum salam, verily. We have to stand up. We have to be held accountable. We have to speak about these deportations. We must be willing to use our platform, our voice, our social ability to speak on these injustices. If these Muslim men have committed crimes, alhamdulillah, I'm not saying they're innocent, then they should be judged by Muslim courts. We shouldn't be deporting them to fucking goddamn China. The country is morally bankrupt. China has a worse humanitarian reputation than America. America, the country that drops bombs on everybody. Seriously, I mean, the idea that we're deporting our brothers and sisters, whether they're criminal or not, and I'm not saying I know a great deal about why they're being deported from Saudi Arabia, from areas like that. The communication is messed up. The Muslim world needs to be stood on moral grounds. We're a moral religion. Alhamdulillah, we are built on the 85% of our holy book is built on morality. The other 15-20% is laws and ethics. And we're deporting brothers and sisters from countries to places like China. I mean, astaghfirullah. The Uyghur Muslims need more than that. They need us to speak up. Why is it an angry white man the one doing the most noise? Astaghfirullah. I mean, I didn't realise how bad the Uyghur Muslims had it until I watched the Muhammad Hijab and seen how he reacted. But I mean, Idris Hasan, who's 34, he resides in Turkey, and a change has to be made, and a willingness to make change, and a willingness to speak up about change. I don't know how this change is going to be. And alhamdulillah, I don't want violence. I'm not perpetrating any kind of violent response, but a verbal response. We Muslims, we are supposed to be ethical people. We must speak up against governments who are prepared to deport our brothers and sisters. If they have committed crimes, alhamdulillah, I am my brother's keeper. Put us in charge of these court cases. Make us responsible for our brothers and sisters. If Sharia is not the governing rule of law for Muslims, why is Saudi Arabia, the most important religious center of our entire Muslim world, deporting Muslims to fucking China? To fucking China, of all countries. I mean, I'm not some kind of rabid anti-Saudi Arabian. I'm really not. But this begs belief. It begs morality. Social normality. We're deporting Muslims, our brothers and sisters, from their Muslim countries, Muslim majority countries, to atheist China, who's well known for their like of our religion. I mean, and let's be fair, the current, and then we've got that other American, apparently Pakistani billionaire, who says, "Oh, the Uyghur Muslims aren't even Mohammed bin Salim." Is that the gentleman I'm talking about? I know very. I don't pay attention to a great deal of news. I just know he said that we don't care about the Uyghur Muslims. Astaghfirullah. Speak for yourself, billionaire. Many of us actually do give a shit about our brothers and sisters in the Muslim community, the ones that are the least unprotected. It's disgusting behaviour like this that has to be spoken out again. And Idris Hasan, 34, is in imminent threat of being deported from Morocco, even though he's residing in Turkey, to China. I mean, the Prince of Saudi Arabia. Oh yeah, no, botched. It's entirely plausible that the Prince of Saudi Arabia has botched this. And in all honesty, I think he's agreed to the deportation without thinking about it. I think the Crown Prince isn't doing this maliciously. I think this would be an unkind point of view from our point of view to call the Prince malicious. He's assumed the guy's got charged with terrorism and then sent him out the door, whoever he's doing it for the Saudi Arabian side. The problem being is, now that time frame needs to be maintained, we need to speak up. No matter how embarrassing it is for the Saudi Prince, he has to fucking step in. He has to acknowledge that he's about to deport a Muslim brother and sister, a man, a cleric as well, an imam. The Saudian side has an imam being deported. Nasser 46, who's living in Turkey, is due to be deported. Yeah, see, this is the problem, and again, we need animatronics. We would need Muslims skilled in this kind of work. Alhamdulillah, and then we'd have to set up a pool of being able to find our brothers and sisters, where everyone could pitch in. It's a beautiful idea, building an animatronics that could do this. Assalamu alaikum, Zarek. Welcome to my live. And it's fundamentally problematic. Long time no see, and yourself. But we need to speak up about this. And one of the reasons I do this on YouTube is because the other social media platforms will block me for just speaking about these problems. YouTube is a moderately free enough platform that I can actually speak about how the Uyghur Muslims are being treated. We can actually speak up about them on YouTube. And this is a key reason why I use this platform above all others, simply because we don't have the ability to be free. I start talking about the Uyghur Muslims on TikTok, I'll get banned. I'm already on a week's ban as it is. I'm already suffering from a week ban just for talking about how social interaction must be policed by more moral behaviour than what is going on at the moment. And I don't want to sit here and just berail about how the Uyghur Muslims are being done. We have to apply pressure. Every single one of you can, as I said with my Serbian video, going back last week, as I was speaking about the Serbian situation, your social media platform is an item to defend your brothers and sisters. I think, I wouldn't be surprised Jordan got banned. Anybody speaking up against the suffering of anybody gets banned. Anybody wanting to talk out about social issues without little girls twerking on live shows, you shake your ass and your other assets, and that's it. You get 100,000 followers. Whereas you talk about actual social problems inside of the world, and that's it. You're banned because you're making the place dreary. When these are real issues and they need to be spoken about. And people need to realise that we're not prepared to sit by and just allow this shit to happen. I personally am not willing, and this is a key reason why I've taken the opportunity and the time to make issues about these problems. And we do. The animatronics is a great idea. But we'd need to get a team of people together. We'd need to talk about it. We would need to work out how it's funded, where it will be funded from, who will do the work, when the work will be released. And to provide us a sufficient budget. We could also start with the French issue, because I've been meaning to speak about how the French have been treating our Muslim brothers and sisters in France, but I'll leave that for another live next week. Currently, I just want to specifically talk about how Idris Hasan is being deported from Morocco. I know it's an election in April. It'd be a great time to pick up the pressure on them for the French Muslims. But Idris Hasan, who's 34, he resides in Turkey. His people are genuinely and quite honestly suffering from his family, a stress and that lot, because he's about to be deported from Morocco. For whatever reason, he was visiting Morocco, probably for family, probably for friends, probably for educational purposes, whatever they were. If someone is being accused of terrorism from dark countries like America and China, we should categorically judge them within Muslim countries. And maybe that's more work, but that's the moral thing to do. Yeah? If they've committed a crime, we should be held accountable for our brothers and sisters. Alhamdulillah. We shouldn't be deported to atheist nations who mistreat Muslims. No, we won't. Eris, there'll be no seeing him again. If he's deported to China, they disappear into the Chinese areas, and no one ever gets to speak to them. Their families don't get to speak to them. Women and children don't get to speak to them. The things that go on in the Uyghur Muslim communities are horrific. The stories you hear coming out. Now, how many of them are real? How many of them aren't real? I don't know. because there's going to be some propaganda involving in that, and we're wise and intelligent enough to realise that. But where there's smoke, there's fire. Yeah, there's bound to be some issues going on inside the Xinjiang province for the Uyghur Muslims that we need to pay attention to. But Muslims deporting our brothers and sisters who share our religion out towards another country, astaghfirullah. When did that become normal? When did it become normal for Muslim majority countries to deport people? Or is it the fact that I can sit here and, yes, I'm not claiming I know a great deal about what's going on in there, but I do feel that there is so little scrutiny on places like Morocco and Saudi Arabia's deportation systems that they should be spoken about. Oh, I don't necessarily believe that, Ernest. I believe that for us to say that the Muslim countries have sold their religion for money is a bit harsh. I do believe a lot of them do try to do what's good. I suspect what's happened is because of how hot many Muslim countries want to be seen on terrorism, that someone has said, Minister so and so needs to be deported, such and such a country's doing it, it's on terrorist charges. So they've just gone, yeah, get it done. They haven't necessarily looked into the details, which you have to give your brothers and sisters, even in Saudi Arabia and Morocco, the benefit of the doubt, because that's the nature of government. You know, a perfect example of a failed government is the British government today. Let's take the British government as an example of not paying attention to what it's doing. And if a Western country's government can't pay attention to what it's doing, we're being a little bit unfair towards our Muslim brothers and sisters governments, whereas this can happen. And we can stop these deportations if enough public pressure is maintained, if enough social media pressure is maintained. We saw what happened when we engaged. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Let the Ummah take care of them. If they are criminals, we will deal with them. If they've committed crimes, let the evidence be presented to our law courts. I mean, we are a religion built on Sharia, on literal Islamic law. We are a religion that is built on Islamic law. So why can't we judge our own people if they've committed a crime in the world? I mean, stuff for a lie. This isn't rocket science. You know, we say to the Chinese, we say to them, oh, if they commit the crimes, give us the evidence. We will judge them because they are of our responsibility. They are our Muslim brothers and sisters. And Muslim countries don't talk like that. They don't speak like that. They don't use that type of language. They're not willing to ascertain these words in what they do. Yeah, pressuring them would be difficult, but I mean, if we speak up enough as Muslims, our brothers and sisters in the Muslim community will actually say something in Saudi Arabia. Oh, absolutely. I know some of them are definitely holding on for their thrones. That is irrevocable, because I think you can. I think that's a false dichotomy. I believe that that pressure has managed to push the Saudi Arabians to granting our Muslim sisters their rights, their legal, moral, and social rights in what they do. I think that's a misconception on whether or not people actually have their rights. Saudi Arabia has changed. It's changed in the last 20 years, and it has shown it can be changed under political pressure. Modernisation isn't necessarily what it is. Remember, Saudi Arabia only just started applying Islamic rights for women inside their own country. I mean, they weren't even applying Islamic rights to women inside Saudi Arabia. You know, the women weren't allowed their full Islamic rights in Saudi Arabia. So, I mean, in essence, they're not modernising. They're just merely applying Islamic law, which is something that should be accredited. There's nothing in the in the Quran or spoken in Quranic or capacity involving driving cars. Yeah, this is the problem. This is a key problem, and this is another reason why people like me have to speak up. You know, white revert Muslims must be spoken, because when we see the deen, when we see what we are, and then project our voice, other white people, other powerful white people, or misinformed people will actually start to actually perceive that this is not the case. that these countries are not a representation of Islam, which is something we must do more and more, Case. And I personally find it rather difficult to people to grasp that we should be treated this way, especially when it comes towards deportations. Our Muslim brothers and sisters are quite honestly mistreated when it comes towards social interaction on the mass media. And we must be seen more positively. There must be more white reverts to speak up because of how much power the West has over Muslim agenda, over Muslim society. If we don't speak up about them, if we don't address these injustices as white reverts, we're failing our Ummah. That's the way I see it. I don't see many people actually willing to talk about how social media needs to be encouraged. My more powerful brothers and sisters on these apps, they're dealing with beautiful issues, but social media needs to be used as a tool it can be. Yes, exactly. If we remain silent, we are accepting a genocide. I mean, that's something that needs to be prolific. We are accepting a genocide by our silence. We are allowing the Uygher Muslims to be committed against the genocide by ignoring what's going on. And this needs to be approached at all points. Every single story we can get out of China, every single ability to prevent China from snatching our brothers and sisters, every opportunity we have to keep them out of China's grip is a victory. And that victory must be reverberated across the entire Muslim world. So we must speak out about these deportations. We must be seen actually addressing this situation and these problems. Alhamdulillah, Muslims must be heard. We must not be afraid to actually speak up about who we are and what we represent. We are a people of morals and ethics. It's not purely, Barry. Alhamdulillah, I must disagree. Pressure must be applied from us to these corrupt regimes and the West in general. The Muslim world can affect the West. You get 500,000 angry British Muslims, and I promise you, Boris Johnson will say something. Even him being a mumbling idiot almost on his way out the door, politically speaking, he will say something if 500,000 British Muslims were to speak up. Yeah, the world has to speak up. And the only way the world will speak up is if the Muslim community speaks up. Because if the Western Muslims speak up, then our Middle Eastern brothers and sisters will speak up. And then remember, we're a billion strong. We are nearly 2 billion strong as a religion. No, brother, Barry, I must disagree. We must say something. I for one, cannot stand by and just allow what's going on amongst our Uygher brothers and sisters to just be completely ignored. I can't do that. I need to have my voice heard. I need to be accountable. When I stand before my Creator, when I stand before Allah, I'd say, I tried. I tried to speak about these issues. No matter how many problems involving it, the politicians would rather sweep this under a carpet. They do it towards the Myanmar Muslims. They do this towards the Kashmirian Muslims. They do it towards the Palestinians. And we must keep speaking about them. We must continue. Doing dua isn't just enough. I have to be seen to speak. Even if my voice doesn't go far, even if it only affects 10 people, then I've tried. And trying to speak towards 10 people, however hard that is, silence in itself is an injustice. If we refuse to speak up, if we refuse to vocate our voice, saying, stuff for Allah, the Muslim leaders will be judged when Allah judges them, that's not enough. If my voice has any chance, even an iota of chance, of changing the lives of one Uygher Muslim, the Quran tells me if I've saved one Muslim life, I've saved all of humanity. Alhamdulillah, why not? And if I can do that, you can do that. We all should try and save, even if we only save Idris Hasan and return him to his family from Morocco to Turkey. If we do that, if we can do just that, we've done enough. We are one Ummah, and our actions to our one Ummah requires us to behave in that direction. It is the nature of being Muslim that makes us who we are. Our hope in this dunya is our holding hands Islamically with our brothers and sisters and allowing the Uyghurs to be deported from Muslim countries. Yeah, no, absolutely, verily. The Muslim countries are, but our voice in the Western Muslims cannot be underestimated. And I think that that needs to be spoken about as much. Our voice, Islamically speaking, must be spoken. We must be willing to speak about these deportations. You must be willing to actually go onto social media, make videos, make captions, get everybody talking about it. Because that's what's important. And that's what makes us who we are. I mean, we're not perfect. I'm not claiming to know the answers of how to fix these problems, but I genuinely feel that if more communication is held, more talk about this is upstanding, people are willing to actually speak about these issues, then we will get further. Of course, they were immediately imprisoned. Alhamdulillah, I'm not debating that the fact that the Saudi regime has to have change, but we're not going to get anywhere by just constantly bashing the Saudis. We need to, the communication is just as important. I mean, every time you bash a Saudi, what likely is going to happen is a Saudi Arabian will turn his head off. He will stop, he will turn off. He won't pay attention to the conversation. The goal is to engage our Saudi brothers and sisters and bring them as part of the conversation. If we can bring them into the conversation, if we can bring the Moroccans into the conversation, and we're responsible for saving just 2 Muslim lives, alhamdulillah, then what I've done here today will be worth my time. What am I losing? My time is Allah's. I belong to my Creator. So in that regard, the European, American, Turkish Muslims need to speak up. We need to be spoken. We need our voice to be heard. And we must be willing to endanger ourselves to try and save our brothers. So Idris Hasan, who is being detained at the moment in Morocco, we need to see our voice. So everyone who sees this live, absolutely everyone who sees this live, if you do anything today or over the next couple of days or when you see this live, and you actually take the opportunity, please speak out about Idris Hasan's deportation from Morocco. Let's start our battlefield there, one problem at a time. And it may be a small problem. It may be something as pressuring the Moroccan government, but that pressure can be had. We can speak out about it. And then we just take apart these problems one at a time, as they come to us. And that is what we need to do. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, sister Fatima Adam. Welcome to my live. If we attack these problems one at a time, we let's just take Idris Hasan. Let's see if we can stop him from being deported from Morocco. If we can achieve that, we have all participated in saving and bettering one brother and returning him to his wife and 3 children. Alhamdulillah. So let us face that one problem now, and we take these one at a time. And we maintain the realities of who we are and what we are capable of dealing with. And we move across these problems one at a time, especially when it comes towards these situations where we are acknowledging that we can try to stop one deportation. And that's what I'm asking. I'm basically, yeah, it's my phone went off and I'm in the middle of a live, stuff for a laugh. But yeah, that's my ringtone, if anyone's wondering. I don't just talk about being Muslim. When I'm out live and I'm on phone, everyone hears it going off in my local town. But yeah, Idris is saying we can do something. We can absolutely do something. And the more noise we make as Western living Muslims, the more traction it should gain. Even if you only affect 3 people, and I've affected you 4 that are on my live at the moment, and I affect 4 more that are on the live that will read the live and go to the full end of the full 30 minutes of this video that I'm going to do. What will likely happen is little trickles of information come out, and more will see it, and more will see it. And alhamdulillah, maybe someone as big like Scotty will see it. Maybe someone like Mohammed Ajab. Alhamdulillah, may Allah be pleased if they do see my videos. What will happen is they will see that these deportations are wrong, and maybe their platform will speak about it. And that's why we must get this message out further, because it's not for my benefit. I don't give a damn about my benefit on this situation. I care about the benefit of my brothers and sisters. I care that they take an opportunity to be seen, to be heard, and that their lives are better. If we can stop one deportation, just one deportation, we have saved lives. Absolutely. Anybody who wants to send off my live video, alhamdulillah, blanket call. When I'm doing these lives involving the Bosnians, involving the Uygurs, please spread them. Yeah, spread them by all means, because I feel that that's a necessity. Because any message that allows us to grow as a society and be aware, if we can stop one deportation, we have achieved what we are doing. You know, it is something that makes us who we are. We need to speak up. Idris Hasan is being deported to China. He will never be seen again if he leaves Morocco. He should be returned to his family in Turkey. You know? And alhamdulillah, let me end this video unquestioned by thanking our Turkish brothers and sisters. You do so much. Millions of Syrians, millions of our Muslims and brothers and sisters who are persecuted around the world go to Turkey. And we must thank our Turkish brothers and sisters because they carry a great deal of burden. And they need to be spoken about carrying this burden. And we need to show our appreciation for them because they're the ones who look out for our brothers and sisters a hell of a lot more than the Arabs do. And I know that's horrible to say, but it's true. Palestinians, whole chunks of them live in Turkey. Uygher Muslims run to Turkey. Syrians during the Syrian civil war run to Turkey. You know, it's the nature of who we are involving our brothers and sisters. We need to speak out on these problems. We need to be willing to speak out on these problems. And our Turkish brothers and sisters do an incredible amount for us. I mean, it is the suffering of this Ummah. I know it's a test, but we are tested by not speaking out about it. So by all means, share my video if you think it'll make a change. Or better yet, take better videos, because I'm just an angry Muslim living in the countryside, speaking about the injustices and using as much of my platform as I can. So take better made videos, you know, the ones that give good captions, good videos, good materials, and then just print them out. The message is more important than the individual. Alhamdulillah, but it has been a pleasure having you all here. I think it's been a very constructive 30 minutes, and I like to thank you all that came.